What up YouTube, it's Louis here bringing you this cryptocurrency video. Today we'll be looking at Bitcoin. Guys, yesterday we had a massive pump out of this falling wedge with now a technical target back at the top of the falling wedge, roughly at 52k. But we're also in other technical targets at the moment. So what happened here is we started bottoming out. We just kept on failing to break 40k, and this was very similar to what was happening earlier on in the year when we were down at the bottom of this dip in May until July, basically, where we just kept on failing to break below 30k. And that same thing now has happened here at 40k. So we just kept on failing to break below 40k down here. Oh, it's actually 42, 41. Anyway, remember guys, I was telling you that this fractal is exactly the same as this fractal over here where we had this head and shoulders, or you can say this horizontal, or this head and shoulders here, shoulder, head, shoulder, or shoulder, head, shoulder. And we got the same here with a shoulder, a head, and a shoulder here. And so when this happened, you had a technical target to the downside, and we met our technical target here. However, when it's happened again, our technical target was down here at 30k, 37k. So our target here, 37k. Let's draw the head and shoulders for you. Shoulder, head, shoulder. And then our target was down here. But because Bitcoin is so bullish, you're not meeting the technical targets to the downside. And this is something that we've seen before. This happens in a bull market, but this is something that we've seen since we recovered from this consolidation period at 30k when we had the May dip. Every time we've gone up now and made a bearish pattern, you fail to meet your target. So this here is a rising wedge and your technical target's here. But then you come down and you basically did something called a double bottom, where you've come down once, come down again, and you failed to break it on 2 occasions basically. And you found support before going back above and continuing your uptrend, and you failed to meet your technical target to the downside. Here we had this again where you had a rising wedge and you've fallen out your rising wedge, but your target is the bottom of the wedge. And you can see here, before we bottomed out, before we met our target, we did a W and then bottomed out and then carried on your uptrend. And this is what just kept on happening. You kept on doing these rising wedges and you just kept on failing to meet your bullish targets basically. So here again, you got your rising wedge, you fell out, you did a double bottom, and then you continued up before we actually had our dip. But in our dip, we had this rising wedge, this humongous one, and the target is down here. And our technical target is down here, but our technical target for this head and shoulders pattern is also in and around here at 37k. So everything was telling us that we should come to 37 to 37.8k, roughly 38k. And what happened? You came down to exactly 39k, 39.5k, and this is exactly where I called the bottom in my group chat that I'll show you in a second. If you want to join this, please let me know. Just message me on Instagram or message me in the comments down below if you want further details on this. So this is actually where I called the exact bottom, the exact bottom, the lowest point of the dip. For the people in my group chat, I actually called this on the 21st of September, and this is where I said for you guys to get in. Basically what I said is, at everyone, if you wanted to add any crypto right now, is probably the best price you'll get for investments. We may go down a little more, or 40k could be the bottom. Lose 40k and we'll go to 38. However, if Bitcoin holds 40k, then the dip is over, and the next wave up for Bitcoin is 100k. So this will be your perfect entry for any coins you hold. And the picture below, the next day, if you look at the picture above, at the moment I've called the exact bottom since I said we would go up, and we have gone up, which is very positive. And so if you bought the bottom, you should be up basically. So if we look at the picture, this was our bottom, 39 something, and I just mentioned that in the video. So yeah, I called it over here because of the nice double bottom basically, but I was confident that this was the bottom, because the thing is, yeah, you can see double bottoms, and they may not work out for you because it depends what trend they're in. If you're mid downtrend, they won't work. They will only work as the bottom of a downtrend. So you need to be aware that the W or the double bottom that you're seeing is at the bottom of a trend and not mid downtrend. They only work mid uptrend or at the bottom of a downtrend to reverse the trend. And then what happened exactly? Look, while that candle was open, because you had 29 minutes of this candle left when I took this picture, so it's still moving basically. And when that candle had closed, it was so bullish up here, which gave me even more confidence to the fact that I called the bottom. And you've come up, got rejected by the 20, which is fine, because as long as you're keeping higher lows, then we will continue up. And that's exactly what happened. People that were in my group chat and bought when I had called the bottom, well done to you guys, because you had this massive pump in one day, but of course you come back down. But at least when you came back down, you're creating higher lows, which is an uptrend structure. And what follows higher lows? Higher highs. And you broke this high over here. See, you made a higher high. So what's to follow next? Higher low, because this is what an uptrend is. So guys, when you made this rising wedge and you failed to meet a technical target, you actually formed a falling wedge with the technical target, as we said earlier, up here at 52k. But you're in other technical targets to the upside, guys. So your first one was down here. So you've come down, you come up and come down again, and then you broke this high here. So when you broke this neckline, it put yourself in a technical target. See, we broke it over here with this green candle. If I just drag this forward, there you go. And then that put you in a technical target to 47.5k, which we met exactly yesterday. So usually, not every time, but usually when you meet my technical target, this is where you stall. And if you have another technical target above it, you stall here before carrying on to your next technical target. So what this is saying is that we met my target here and you started stalling, maybe creating this flag pattern or something like that, this bullish continuation pattern. And then after that, you'd come to my next target up here at 50k. And why is my target, the next target here at 50k? Well, before I showed you this double bottom here, and now we have an even bigger one over here. Can you see that with this as your neckline? And when you break this neckline here, which you have over here, it puts you in a technical target to here. But we don't just shoot up to there, you'll stop along the way, creating patterns and whatnot. But we had another pattern before down here with a technical target here, and that's why we haven't just shot up to this. We shot up to this, consolidated before shooting up to this, maybe consolidating again or coming down before going up to our target up here at 52k. So yeah, very bullish for Bitcoin right now. So when you break above here, your technical target's up here. Now, the biggest level for Bitcoin to break for us to continue the bull market, obviously we want to make higher highs, higher than the all-time highs, but a precursor to this is going to be this level. This level is so important, 48k. I'm going to show you in a second why it's so important. It's because this, remember I showed you that this whole entire thing is a fractal of what's happened in the past, right? And everything's been happening exactly the same. Like when we got down to here, this is when the China FUD came, where China banned Bitcoin mining and whatnot. And then that's why we dropped from 42k, 44k to 30k or 28k as the low. And then what happened a week ago? China banned crypto again, but all cryptos, all transactions are now illegal, which is funny because since then they've actually been accumulating Bitcoin. But anyway, that had happened in the exact same location over here, and then we started dumping off and found our bottom. So when the China FUD happened here, that's when we eventually found our bottom. And then the China FUD happened here, and then we eventually found our bottom. And then now we've pumped up, had a massive pump here, and we've had a massive pump here. So what could be happening here is this right now. We could maybe fall, double bottom and continue, or we could carry on up a little bit before dropping back down. But I would like to see the neckline of this W pattern here, this neckline here retested. So you could drop all the way back to this. You may not, but this is what we'd like to see this level hold basically if you do come back to it. But as long as you're staying above this, you're going to head to your technical targets further ahead. So the reason why I said this level is so important is because in the bigger picture, this is roughly where we started dumping off. So we've come down, W'd out, found our bottom, and then you come up. And then you met resistance before dropping. Where was this resistance? In and around the top of this range here, slash a little bit above it. So what's happened here. So this area could actually be this area here. So this could be this, and this area here is basically this area here. So looking at it, we have bottomed out. And so when we got to here, the level that we wanted to break was this neckline here, because here you've actually created a W pattern like that, and this is your neckline, this white box here. So the level you want to break is this box. And what happened, this was the most important level to break, and what's happened, you come to it and you got rejected before breaking it and continuing up. Fair enough, good. So this level here is this level here. So what we want to see, looking to the left, structure leads clues. What happened when we came to this location? You dropped, you found support, and then you continued up. You've come to that location now over here. What's going to happen? You drop, find support, whether that's here or down here, and then you bounce up and continue, because look what's coming next. Basically, we're going to go up, maybe come down, find support, and then continue up. Basically, this is what's coming for Bitcoin. You're in so many technical targets to the upside, it's ridiculous. So you're also in this. So if I just make this neat now, you're also in this broadening falling wedge, which I mentioned in my last video, and this is a bullish pattern. So you just broke out of it here and then got back in, confirmed it as support. Now you're in the broadening falling wedge at the moment, which is a bullish pattern. So when we break out of it over here, which is breaking that 52k target, which is the high over here, when we break that, which is the top of this falling wedge over here, when we break that, you've broken the downtrend, or you've broken out of the broadening falling wedge, and that puts you in a technical target at the top of the wedge, which would be at, our target for that is 61k. So really now, guys, when you break above 52k, you're going to get into a technical target of 61,400. But it gets even more interesting now, because what I was telling my students over here, a lot of people were saying that this was a head and shoulder pattern, and I made a video on this saying if this played out, Bitcoin would go to minus 2,000, and that's just impossible. Nothing can go into minus. So, and yeah, Bitcoin won't go to zero. I already explained that in that video. But yeah, a lot of people were saying this is head and shoulder, and so the same people were saying this is a head and shoulder over here, and if so, that would put us in a bear market, but that's not going to happen. What I was seeing, while everyone was saying this is a head and shoulders pattern, I was seeing a double bottom here. You've come down, you found a bottom, come up, got rejected by resistance, and you bottomed out here, creating this humongous fat W pattern, basically. And so this is what's happening now over here, because remember, this is this. So you got your W here, you come down, found a bottom, met resistance, come down, boom, W pattern. So this here is your neckline, your 52k, your top of the falling wedge, basically. And so if that's the top, if that's the neckline, we want to measure from the lowest point back to the neckline. And when you break your neckline, it puts you in a technical target to the upside. And now you have a technical target at 67k. So basically, when you break above 52,000, you've actually got two technical targets. So what this is saying is that maybe you're going to pump up to this and then consolidate before reaching this target here. But there's even more targets, guys. This is getting ridiculous now. So we actually have this bump and run, or this cup and handle here, where you've made a cup and then you've made the handle. And so for this pattern, you have a technical target measuring from the bottom to the neckline. And when you break the broadening falling wedge, or your neckline, it puts you in a technical target to the upside here at 79k for Bitcoin. So this puts you in a 79k target, technical target for Bitcoin. So it just means that once you break above this, you're in a technical target to 61k and 67. But once you break above 61k, it puts you in a technical target. Actually, no, this technical target comes into play at 52. So once you break above this level, basically, this is the most important level. Once Bitcoin breaks above 52k, you're just going to start flying. Now, this can come in the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, in the next month, where we get up to here, making new all-time highs. It's just all about this really important level of 52k, because once you're above that, you've got 3 targets, and all it means is that you're going to get to the first one, stall, get to the second one, stall, and then get to the third one, stall, because you actually have another technical target after this one, guys. You have another technical target target. And so remember here I said we have this W pattern. We also have the larger one here. So we have to do the W pattern for there. Our target from the bottom back to the tip of the neckline. Break the neckline and you got a technical target to the upside, and your technical target is 94k, and this is so close to the top where we should be by the end of the year, which is roughly 100 to 120k, where we'll top out and have a massive bear market scare again, like we had in May, where everyone thinks we're going to go to zero, going to go into bear market, everyone's going to get shaken out, and that's when Bitcoin will wake up and do one more double to get to 200k, and that will be the end of the bull market. And this will roughly be anywhere between June to September next year, guys. Perfect. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Please leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. As always, peace.